Because if you're the best at what you are trying and striving to become, people will find you. Whether you're at a high school job, a college job, a D2, D1, D3, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, be all in for those kids, for that program, for that head coach.
Welcome back to First Down presented by CoachTools. I'm your host, Justin Titchenell. Episode 128 featured Joe DuPaix, the head football coach at Southern Virginia University. Today we spoke about the value of a Division III education, specifically when it comes to committing to your current role, transparency and honesty with players, and the importance of continuous self-improvement. So let's dive right into the content, and I hope you enjoy.
Justin, great to be here, my man. Always a pleasure to be on a great program and talk some ball.
Coach DuPaix, this is actually his second stint at Southern Virginia University, where now this time around, he's the head coach. Coach, can you just share with the audience about your background, your 20-year coaching career at the college level, and a little bit of insight into where you've been over the years?
Yeah, absolutely. As we know, this is a game that we absolutely either love like through the roof and it's just something we have to be part of, or something the casual fans just watch on TV. But for me, my dad was a head football coach. He's the winningest football coach in the state of Utah. And so I grew up from the time I could walk, just being around the game and loving the sport, learning the lessons. And once I got done graduating from high school, I actually had the privilege to play for him. And we won a state championship. And I went on to college and I graduated from first, I went to Snow College and then to Southern Utah University, and I graduated from there. I played quarterback at Southern Utah. And right off the bat, I knew I wanted to coach. So I put my resume out there at thousands of places and wasn't really sure where I was going to end up. And fortunately, had an opportunity to go out to the University of Missouri S&T, which is a Division II program in Rolla, Missouri. And that was my first coaching job. And since then, my wife and I have traveled across the country. We've been in San Luis Obispo, California, where I coached for 7 years with Rich Ellerson. I was at Navy a total of 8 years with Ken Matalolo. I was with Bronco Mendenhall at BYU for a little bit. Absolutely loved my time there. And Southern Virginia, I was the head coach here for 2 years before leaving and going back to Navy. So I've actually been at Navy 2 different times and Southern Virginia 2 different times. And here I am again at Southern Virginia and absolutely loving it. And it's been a remarkable road. Obviously, you never know exactly what to expect. And you just kind of take it one day at a time and focus on being the best that you can be the day that you're living that day. And kind of gone through that process my whole career. And fortunately, we've been extremely blessed to be around great people, great mentors, great student athletes, great universities, and couldn't be more happy to be exactly where I am right now.
It's a really unique situation to be having the opportunity to go back at a second stint at 2 different programs. Can you talk about that and maybe some of the perspective that gave you during your second time around at each program?
Yeah, absolutely. When I left Navy the first time, I didn't. I wasn't looking for another job. I wasn't one of these coaches that was always just looking for the next opportunity. I check Football Scoop like everybody else, but when I look, I'm looking to see where friends are and just kind of staying updated. I'm not looking to job hop, and I never have, except for maybe way back when Football Scoops first started, and I was early in my career. But the reality is, I wasn't looking for an opportunity to leave Navy. I loved the football staff. I loved the program. Obviously, the United States military is one of the best organizations in the world, and to be at the Naval Academy was unreal. But I had an opportunity to go back to BYU, which is where I'm from. You know, being from Utah, and my wife and I actually have 8 kids. There might not be another college football coach in America that has that many kids. Still happily married, 28 years now, and
Philip
Um,
Rivers, maybe. If I think he's coaching
yeah,
now, right?
he has way more money than me, though. He can do whatever he wants. He can go for it on fourth down all day long and be just fine.
Yeah.
I got to be a little bit more cautious. But yeah, we had the opportunity to go back to Utah, and we took that opportunity, and it was a great blessing for us. But when I had the opportunity to go back to Navy later in my career, I frankly couldn't wait to go because of the man I was going to be working with, Ken Matalolo, who is, in my opinion, one of the very, very finest and best football coaches in America. And to work with those young men, you're talking about the best and brightest in America. And so when I went back with a different sense of gratitude because I knew how special the place was. I also went back with more understanding of what I needed to do to help have an impact on the program. Um, with Southern Virginia, I'd say it's very similar in a lot of regards. When I came back, it was kind of like just getting back on the bike, right? You already knew kind of the area, the administration, the conference had changed, but I had a good feel of what I was coming back into. And so, similar deal, I've always wanted to be a head football coach. That's something that I've always kind of felt like has been part of my calling, right? I think most of us coach because that's how we feel. We feel like we're drawn to coaching. And to be a head football coach was something because I watched my dad do it that I also wanted to do. Um, First and foremost, to development of character. And as the head football coach, you can have more say on where the program goes, obviously, and what's being taught and what are all the expectations? How are you holding guys accountable? What's the discipline level like? How are you really developing men of character? And as a head coach, you can do that at a higher level with more people than as a position coach. And they're both great, and kind of where I am right now in this chapter of my career. I just, I'm super excited to be back at Southern Virginia simply so that I can be the head ball coach and not to be, pound my chest and I'm the head coach. I get to do what I want, but just to hopefully create a vehicle for young men to come into and become great in everything that they do, whether it be academics, football, spirituality, just to help young men become better so they can be great husbands and fathers when they get done and move on and upward.
Definitely. And I think Division III football is really it's a great thing because you have the kids who need to be able to balance not only a great football program, but also academics. And it's something that a lot of people don't know unless you've been through it. And for me, speaking from experience, when I was at Gettysburg, that was something that all of our coaches really emphasized was just focusing on your academics first and foremost. And at the same time, there's great football in Division III. So, can you talk about Southern Virginia University and some of some of the main benefits that a student athlete would have going to your university?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're spot on. I mean, the whole reason they created Division 3 was so you can truly have student athletes. And we know, I mean, it's all over ESPN and the news now is Division 1 is it is what it is. You are essentially a professional athlete. Um, and there's some school that happens, but you're there to play football and the expectations are to be great and go and play in the NFL. Well, Division 3 was built for the student athlete and to have those opportunities to go ahead and be really, really successful in the classroom, possibly be in one or two clubs and be on the football field and play college football. You hit it on the head when you said that Division 3 has really, really good talent. The biggest misconception out there, I believe, is that people think Division 3 doesn't have great talent. There's phenomenal talent and really, really, really good football teams at the Division 3 level. And so those are really huge pieces of the pie. And when you look at your own life as a recruit, you look and you say, okay, can I get to the NFL? If not, why wouldn't I go to a Southern Virginia where I can become great academically, possibly get into some different organizations or clubs while playing college football, with the opportunity then to go get a great job with all of that balance that I've just gained through my college experience.
Yeah.
And so it's a beautiful thing. Division III football is a beautiful thing. Us specifically, we are a faith-based university. We're a relatively new university. We've only been around 25 years. And some of the teams in our conference have been around, 150, 200 years. And when you kind of look at that piece, we're like this infant, right? And we've only been Division III, 7 to 10 years now. And so we're kind of the new kids on the block in one sense of the word. And what we have to offer from a university standpoint is an unbelievable private education, probably one of the least expensive on the East Coast. And a lot of private schools are extremely expensive. We're probably one of the least expensive, and you're getting one heck of an education and experience. Having a faith-based education is actually pretty cool because the guys and the girls that are walking campus are people that are striving to be great and have high character. We talk about staying away from alcohol, marijuana, smoking, drugs, stuff that athletes stay away from for the most part anyway. And here, kids can come here and feel safe, staying away from those things and still having a very fun, active lifestyle on campus, which is nice. There's a lot of kids that are actually looking for those kind of environments and there's some kids that in college, they're looking to go party and there's those schools too. But for the kids that are looking to go to a safer place, you could say, Southern Virginia is a great option. And of course, we don't try and have too many students on campus so that we can have those small class sizes. And obviously that is huge when it comes down to education, being able to learn. Teachers actually not only know who you are, but they care about who you are. They care about what you're doing. I've never been at a place where more people on campus actually know and care about the individual students than Southern Virginia University. And so there's a lot I could go on, obviously, but it really is a great place, and we're building a great program. I've been around a lot of really high-end first-class organizations and programs, and everything that we're doing here is based on what I've learned. It's really not about the buildings. It is about the people. And, I tell our recruits, we don't have the same facilities, obviously, that Alabama has, but everything that we do have, we're going to make sure that it's first class. We're going to take care of it. And we do have everything necessary for you as an athlete to become successful. And so I really feel like it's a little gem right here in the middle of Virginia, and just super excited to be here.
Yeah, and I think everything you said is spot on to my experience as a Division III athlete. Like, I had the opportunity to do so many other things beyond football and still be successful in football, also have a great education. For example, the way that I got started with my business actually was through an entrepreneurial club. So
Hmm.
I was able to do a
So,
lot of other
yeah,
things, and this is my profession now. So Division III education, like, it's really second to none.
you know what? You're so right about that. I've seen so many former players that have had similar experiences that what you just described. And at the higher Division I level, that's not always the case. And for whatever reason, right? But it's just a different model. It's a different vehicle. And it's pretty cool to see people go through a program like ours and have that experience and gain that knowledge. And they're forced in a good way to go out and build stronger relationships and maybe be a little uncomfortable, which in turn helps them have more success down the road because they're going to jump into something that they learned in college. And that's really what it's all about, right? We go to college to help us get better jobs. And so it really is a win-win situation. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, 100% right there. Having had such a successful career, coach, can you talk about, I'm sure this is tough for you to figure out one, but what would you say would be the top point that you've learned over your career, whether it be from early
Mm,
on or up until today?
yeah. There are so many. It's hard to say just one, but I'll just share a couple thoughts. I think first and foremost is you've got to be bought in 100% where you are and wherever your feet are right now, whether you're at a high school job, a college job, a D2, D1, D3, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, be all in for those kids, for that program, for that head coach. Because when you are, that's when other opportunities present themselves. It's not that you're out there hunting and looking and searching. It's that you're the best that you can be. Because if you're the best at what you are trying and striving to become, people will find you. That's just the way it works. So that would be the biggest thing: is be all in where you are. Truly be all in. And obviously, as a coach, I feel real strong that you got to tell people the truth. Um, you got to be fair with your players. You got to let them know exactly where they stand. You got to hold them accountable. Things that are, let's just say, social media is going the opposite way. They're over here. But to be a great coach and to run a great program, you need to be all the way over here. And the kids need to understand that. And the only way to do that is to be transparent, honest, and tell people exactly where they are, and find people that have those common interests, that truly want to be coached, truly want to be great. But those would be just a couple things that kind of jump to the top of my mind as you mentioned that, and kind of roll from there by just doing the very best. I tell people it's kind of funny because I'm not Nick Saban, not even close. But I tell people I'm striving to beat Nick Saban today as a head coach than he's doing at Alabama. Obviously, he's now gone, but I think all of us could basically say, "Hey, I'd like to be in that man's shoes." And I joke about it, but I'm serious. It's like, how can I be better? How can I do better? How can I be the best version of myself today to outdo somebody like Nick Saban? And I think no matter what level you're at, no matter what position you have, every role matters, whether you're the laundry guy or the head coach or anything in between. Every job matters. Be the best you can be at it.
Love it. Well, Coach, truly was a pleasure speaking with you today. Best of luck as you guys wrap up recruiting, and thank you again.
Well, I'll tell you what, my man, I really appreciate it, and I'm excited about everything you got going over there. And keep up the great work, and we'll definitely talk soon.